everybody, it's Wednesday. So last year for New Year's, I posted a video on New Year's Eve, basically just reviewing the things that had happened in the year that passed. And I want to do something like that for this year, except I'm gonna stick to the books that I read, because books are really important to me. I'm gonna try to get through as many books as possible, because I read quite a few in the past year. First, I'm gonna talk about some retellings of Beauty and the Beast, which I will admit I read an entire year ago. It's called Beauty, a retelling of the story of Beauty and the Beast, and it's by Robin McKinley. And let me tell you, if you are a Disney fan, if you are a fan of Beauty and the Beast in general, if you just really enjoy fairy tales and retellings of fairy tales, go read this book. It's more closely related to the original Beauty and the Beast fairy tale rather than the Disney Beauty and the Beast, in that, Belle's father is a merchant who loses his fortune. Then he makes the mistake of taking the rose from the Beast's garden, and the Beast tells him basically that one of your daughters has to willingly give herself to come live with me. And then every night he proposes to her at dinner, and she says no every night until finally she falls in love with him. I don't want to ruin any big plot points because this book is super good and I want everybody to go read it. I read another book called The Beast Within, A Tale of Beauty's Prince. I've referenced in at least one other video that I don't like Serena Valentino's novels. This one I hate. And if you even like Beauty and the Beast at all, don't waste your time or money on this book. I read it in maybe 2 days because it's written for like 5th graders. The only part about this book that I actually liked enough to say that I like it is the book cover. The book sleeve has the Beast on the front, and then when you pull the sleeve back, it's just the prince on the book itself. It is published by Disney Hyperion, which makes me happy and sad. Happy because the book gets to have the actual Disney image of the character. Sad because I don't like this book. Next is The Paris Wife by Paula McLean. If you like, the 1920s culture, if you like Ernest Hemingway at all, and if you like a somewhat feminist view of the 1920s, read this book. I won't say that this book is inherently feminist, but I do think that given the time period that it's set in and the expectations for women in the 1920s, it is pretty feminist. The Paris Wife is about Ernest Hemingway's first wife, Hadley Richardson, and it follows her journey from like the first night that she meets Ernest until they get divorced, and then eventually when Ernest dies. I love this book so much. I love the prose, I love the perspective, I love the different issues that it tackles. Again, I don't want to give too much away because I want you all to go read it. Next is Everyone Hanging Out Without Me and Other Concerns by Mindy Kaling. Mindy's book is really easy to get through. It's super hysterical, and I immediately started watching The Mindy Project as I was reading this book, and there's a lot in the first season of The Mindy Project that is directly based on Mindy's life. Then I read Comfort, A Journey Through Grief by Anne Hood. Let me just tell you, I don't think there was a single page where I wasn't crying through this book. And it's basically just about Anne Hood and how she lost her daughter when her daughter was only like 5, and it's about the grieving process that she had to go through in order to really keep living after losing her daughter. The ending is very uplifting and very emotional, but it's also very humane in that she has not gotten over the death of her daughter, but more she is able to live with it now. If you're up for a very emotional read, I suggest this book. Then I gave in and finally read the first 2 books of the Percy Jackson series. When I was a kid and everybody was reading Harry Potter, nobody was really reading Percy Jackson. It wasn't until maybe the end of middle school or high school that any of my friends started really reading it, so I wasn't really that interested in it. So really, Sarah just kind of talked me into reading these. I've only gotten through 2. It took me almost all summer to read these 2 books. I am really excited to get into the rest of the books. I just have to have the time and the patience and not, 80,000 other books to read. Then I finally picked up a Jenny Han book. Let me just tell you, Jenny Han is probably my favorite author of 2015. I finally read To All the Boys I Loved Before. I had a little bit of a feeling of hesitation before I bought the book because I was afraid it was going to be horribly misogynistic and it was just going to be about a girl waiting for all of these guys to come and save her. Really, it's just about a simple girl that thinks she knows everything but really doesn't know anything, and she learns about life, about love, about treating people in certain ways and having different ideas of different people all through this one fake relationship that she enters into in order to basically make the boy's ex-girlfriend jealous. Not only is Jenny Han a woman of color author, but the characters are women of color. Their dad is white, but their mother is Korean. I want to see more characters like Lara Jean, first of all because we don't have nearly enough diversity in literature. Second of all because I have never identified with a single character in any book that I read as much as I identified with Lara Jean. Lara Jean worries that her life is boring and that she's not doing enough to make herself interesting, and I remember feeling that way when I was 16. I still feel that way, honestly. If you like cutesy teen romance novels, go buy To All the Boys I Loved Before. There's a sequel, P.S. I Still Love You, which I have started. I haven't gotten all the way through it. After that, I read We Were Liars by E. Lockhart, and I read it because on the cover there was one of those like praise quotes from John Green. I wasn't so enthralled by We Were Liars, although a lot of people seem to be. I get it, it's a good book, but I was still confused. I still couldn't tell if the main character was seeing ghosts all summer or just hallucinating. I have no idea still, and if somebody likes this book and they understand what was going on, please explain it to me. Then I finally got around to reading The Absolutely True Diary of a Parttime Indian. I kept picking that book up when I was in middle and high school, wondering if I would even like it enough to read it, and I kept putting it back down because of course in middle and high school I was mostly into like vampire novels. And I picked this one up specifically because it was on a lot of lists as far as like the best YA novel books. It's a banned book, so that was another, inkling that maybe I want to read it because I love being told I can't do something and then I do it anyway. This book is so funny. It's so real and honest. The main character is not afraid to tackle racism, ableism, classism. He's not afraid to go after those topics and to tell the reader how those things affect him. The main character is a Native American living on an Indian reservation. Because he's so insanely smart, he decides to go to a white school about 20 miles away from where he lives. But when he gets to school, he becomes a whole new person, basically. He becomes confident in himself, doesn't let the white kids at this school push him around because he's a brown boy. Everything about this book is so good. Finally, I have 2 more books to talk about. I'm going to talk about them at the same time. So I saw these books all over Barnes & Noble, all over Target, and I was really hesitant to pick them up. I get really hesitant when I pick up adaptations because I'm afraid they're going to be really bad. Really, the Scrivener, once again, talked me into reading this. She just kind of mentioned it in passing when we were at Target once, and I was just kind of like, oh, I'll think about it. I'll read what I have first, and then I'll think about it. And then I kept thinking about it. So I went and bought the books. The first one is called Dorothy Must Die by Danielle Page. It's basically dystopian Oz. Another girl from Kansas gets flown in by a tornado, of course. And the first book is her journey through becoming magical and learning about her mission. There's a little bit of romance, there's a little bit of fighting, action. There's a lot of bit of magic, a ton of world building for a world that you would think we already know quite well, given that, the Wonderful Wizard of Oz is like over 100 years old now. For a while I wasn't sure that I was invested in the story, but then obviously I had to have been invested in it, because otherwise I wouldn't have gone to buy The Wicked Will Rise. I actually kind of like the first one more, but that's not to say that I don't like this one, because I did a lot. It picks up immediately after the first book ends, and it's the rest of her journey to go and kill off Dorothy. I like the interpretation of Oz. I like the way the magic works. I like Amy as a main character. I wasn't sure that I was gonna like her in the beginning. She was a little bit whiny, but then she kind of came into her own. You should read it. It's definitely worth it. Thank you for listening to me ramble about books, and thank you for watching this video. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up as usual. In the comments below, let me know what you think I should read this year. Also, let me know what you'll be reading this year, because I am always excited to hear about what people are reading and what they think of the books that they've been reading. So let me also know what you read this past year. If you're not already subscribed to us, please do so down below, especially if you'd like to keep watching our videos into 2016. Happy New Year, everybody! The Scrivener and I will see you in 2016.